All right, what about now? I didn't check my sounds on YouTube. I'm not. I hear. Let me check here. No. I'm trying to think where I might be hearing myself from. Oh, here. Okay, let me try the other, the vertical one. It's just streaming the NQ. Give me a minute, Lucy. Give me a minute. Let's see, trading vertical. All right, we're just checking the sound for the vertical. Okay, vertical's working. I think for some reason I might have muted the mic. I'm not sure what happened. We still got about 5 minutes before the market opens, guy. All right, let me turn that off so I'm not hearing myself. All right, I think that one's working also. For some reason, and I think it's because it's two different platforms. So if you go to my horizontal screen, the mic sounds so much better for some reason. I think that's because of the filters I got added. On the vertical, it's just through regular OBS. So, not really sure. I would have to do some kind of adjustment with that later. It has to be something with the OBS settings. Okay. Well, right now I can't pull up my accounts or anything because I have to wait another 5 minutes until the market opens for Paideia. So let me continue logging in. That's one thing I'm not a fan of, like Paideia and Bulanox. They don't really open when the market opens. It's like a slight delay. So that's the only thing I'm not really a fan of those guys about, is that delay that we have. How was everybody's trading today? Anybody get chopped up or caught in some kind of bad setup? Make sure. What's up, Justin? How are you doing today? As right now, we're going to be looking for shorts. My definitely short level is going to be below 48. I like us to push below this 48.37 and push back, find support. And this is I'll show you the reason why. Let me close out some of this stuff right here. So this way, if we run the PM low, most of the times if we can run the PM low in the evenings, most of the time we do not go back into the PM session until London session. Well, like this area, we got out, we back tested a few times, but as you can see, we never went back to the PM session last night. So this would have been a nice setup last night if you would have rode it all the way up. This one you pretty much stayed inside of the PM session. It didn't really get outside of it until the London session. This was a nice one that we took some good points on last week too. This one was from last Tuesday. We got outside the PM session in the Asia market, and it never comes back until the London session. So you don't get this move every night. You're lucky to get it maybe twice a week if you're lucky, but it allows you to pick up some pretty decent points in the evening. That must have been a Sunday. Yeah, because see, a lot of times, if you stay inside the PM session, you'll just be chopping. So we're looking to kind of get out of that PM session this morning to see if we can get a nice little push down. The only thing I'm not a fan of this PM session here is that we have the New York low down here at 37. So we could bounce here. So we might even have to wait for us to get out of this little space here. And that's about a 10-point space. So the low of the New York session's at 47 and the AM session's at 38. So you may have a little bit of resistance there. So that's kind of what we're looking at this evening. All right. Hopefully my stuff will get logged on real quick. Had to reconnect it. Like I said, that's one thing I'm not a fan of Padeas. There's always like a slight delay when it's time to log on when the market opens. Nice. Come on. Yeah, for some reason it's not logging on. There we go. Goodness. So like I said, that's one thing I'm not a fan of the Padeas charts. Kind of that slight delay. Give me a minute to set these up real quick. And I may even short the 74s here if we can kind of print below it. Let's see. Then pull the fib on this real quick. So this would be this leg here. You can see we got the 86% pullback. Let's try this leg. So that would be, got the, let's see. I want to say 80% on this one too. Actually about a 76%. No, that's better. Yeah, 76. All right, switch this up. We'll wait and kind of see what happens here. Hopefully it's just not a choppy night where we're just chopping sideways. All right. See what kind of pullback we get on this leg here. Hoping that we kind of stay to the downside, that we can just continue moving down. See this one. So far, guys, just kind of a slow opening, fairly mild. Hopefully in a minute we can kind of get a direction. I want to see us if we can break the 74 here. If we can print below the 74, we'll look for a short. See 50s. Let me mark out these new levels I have here. 57. What is that? 558. All right. I'm gonna squish my charts up a little bit real quick because I have to mark out some levels while we're just kind of pacing here. All right, that's the same one. All right, so they're correct already. Like I said, a fairly mild open, not really a lot of volume. Like we don't have that quick movement, don't have a gap. I know some people like to trade the inside bar if you're into the inside bar, like the first inside bar of the opening. Sorry if I missed your chat. This chat was going so fast while ago I couldn't see it. Well, I lost my chat somewhere. There it goes. I was like, where did my chat go? How was everybody's trading today? Did everybody have a decent day trading? I know there were some folks that I feel like they were on the struggle bus today. You know, everybody has those days, especially being the new day of the year. Man, right now, guys, we just only have about 10 points of movement, less than 20 points of movement. Super, super slow at the moment. Usually, sometimes between like 5 and 7 or 6 and 8, you'll get a little bit of movement. But today, we're just opening it up, grinding. I was really hoping we would push to the downside because that's where I wanted to take a short at, was below the 74 level. Thank you guys for the follow. Like I said, it's fairly slow this evening. Let's see here. Still have not broke structure yet. As right now, I mean, I'm still leaning bearish. I think you would have to get through all of this here. So you would have to kind of get through this mess here. You can see we've already retested this consolidation twice. For us to get out of the PM session, you would pretty much need to get out of that top part if you're looking for longs. You would almost need to get above 626. If not, you'll probably just keep pushing up here, rejecting in this area. I think it'll be a lot smoother and cleaner if we can push down to the bottom side. Yeah, Brown Ninja. Usually we do trade the New York session. We didn't trade today because I had to take my pet to the vet this morning. So we didn't trade the New York session today. I did come back home around 10:30, 11, and I took several trades on these accounts this evening. These are just evals that we're trading this evening. Unless it's a good setup in the evenings, we'll trade fundeds, but probably will be no funded trade in the evening. Or if I eventually do trade funded, it's going to be these accounts here. And these are fairly small accounts. So these are just 25K accounts. So we're at 411 on this one. And we're up 887 on this other one. And we got to make $1,500. And these are static accounts. So you only start off with like $500 in drawdown. Yeah, it's been a long process with the dog and the vet, man. My dog has what is it? She has diabetes, so she constantly has to go to the vet like almost once a month. And I don't think it's what was caused the diabetes is Cushing's disease is what caused the diabetes. She actually had a good visit today because we finally have got her on the Cushing's medicine. So basically, it's like a disease that pretty much just, the dog you're lucky to get maybe a year and a half, 2 years after she's diagnosed with it. So it has been a long year as far as the dog and the vet goes. Oof. We did get a little 60% pullback there. Oh, we almost hit a lot of consolidation in there. Let's see. I may even. I didn't realize how much consolidation that we had in this area here. Thanks, Brown Ninja. Yeah, luckily the new vet we're going to is definitely a lot better than the one we were going to before. The other one that we were going to, they were all about, they made me feel like they were just all about money and testing. Where the new vet, they don't make me feel that way. I feel like they're actually trying to help me instead of like, what test could we run next? Because that's what it kind of feels like going to them. I don't know if we get below this 21 EMA. This is just kind of a filler trade with the micro. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out which way we're going to be going today. Oh. Take off this one. So if this one pushes down, and so this is the bottom, that's the top. So yeah, if this can push down to make a new low, we should continue down. But if this pushes down and gets stopped here in the 80s, we're probably going back up. Because right now we're just kind of stuck in the middle of this leg here. We did run 60% of this leg back up. And if you're new here, I only trade micros on these accounts. These are small accounts. I usually a risk is like $80. That's like max per trade with this account. Because that's like risking close, not quite 10%, but maybe like 7 or 8% of the account per trade. Well, actually, right now it's 10% because I have, I think, 500 plus 8. So I still have about $1,400 in drawdown on this account. So if this can break this, that's a good indicator that we could be moving down. But if we only get down to the 86% of the account, then we're probably moving back up. Let's see what happens. We hit the first target. We hit that first 10 points. So let's just see if this can break this previous low here. But if it does not break it, that's usually a good sign that we're going back to the top side. Because we're just going to be making higher lows. I want to see it break here. Another little pullback, then just keep that momentum of moving down. See right now, see how we did not get down that 86% before we started moving back up. So this means that this could move up and go all the way back up here, then pull back down and do it like this. So we're probably going to get stopped out on this last contract because it looks like it. Well, maybe. Let's see if yeah, if that 61% breaks, it's going back up. You can also run these on the legs. So that's 50% of this previous three. What's that? Oh, I'm on the 3-minute charts. I've just realized I was on the 3-minute charts. Most time I'm always on the 5 minutes. Yep, probably going to be moving back to the upside. Let me see what the 5 minutes looks like. Yeah, the 5 minute still looks like it's just kind of stuck. And so this is what your 5 minutes chart. So you're still just kind of stuck in this range. Now, I have seen it whenever the Asia market opens inside the PM session where you'll just stay in this like tight box all night long and you won't even get a move. It'll just be extremely just choppy the whole night. You did have a little bit bigger legs on the 3 minutes, but with the 5 minutes, it kind of makes you be a little bit more patient. You can see there's really no setup here. It's just chopping sideways. Now, I did say I would take a short below that 74 on the 3-minute charts. Pull fib on this one. So low, high. But we did pull back about 60% of this, so we're just waiting to see if we're going to make a new low to see if this is going to stay valid. All right, so the levels that I have marked out, this is my 3-minute short area. This is the 50% midpoint of yesterday. This is on the daily mid. I can't remember what I had 48 marked out for something. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. 37.38 is the low of your PM session. So if we can definitely break. Oh, this was supposed to be third. Wait. Let me look at this real quick. Okay, so 48 is the low of your PM session. So that's what I was saying. Like if we broke this 48, I didn't know we would run into problems trying to get through the 37. It could literally take all. No, I don't use like no order flow. Sorry, Brown Ninja. I didn't see your chat there. I got so focused on charts. No order flow. Mostly everything I trade's all level base, support and resistance, and time of the day type stuff. And I have the 20 minutes. So this is where I like to look for like shorts and longs at in the evening time. I like for us to kind of get out of the trading the different times of the day. So like what I was saying before, a lot of times if we open up in the middle of the PM session time zone, or those 2 hour slot periods, we will just stay locked in this area all night long. And we might not even really get a trading opportunity tonight. So I would really like the short, but I just don't know how long it's going to take. I'd like to see us break these two levels here, and then you could possibly target the London lows overnight. So that's where these two levels come from. This 58 level, that's your midday on the hourly. And that's another indicator that just kind of marks it out for me. I can show you that too. So what it does, it marks out the highs and lows. All right, so this is the new day. This one right here. So now we're at the mid. A lot of times if you break the 50% of the previous day candle, you'll continue down to the lows. So like last night, I was all about the longs. We got a opening weekend gap down here at the 400s. So we got a weekly gap right here that eventually you would think that we would fill back in sometime this week. And I've noticed if you go back, if we open up with a gap, almost every single time you will continue up all night long. So I think we took about 50 points out of this last night. And you can go back to last week. It was the same thing. That's Sunday. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe we didn't open up with a gap last week. I thought we did. Guess not. I was thinking we had one for the last 2 weeks. Like I said, guys, not really a lot to do here. I think it's going to take us a lot to go for the longs. You can kind of mark out all these consolidation areas that we have. And not having a lot of volume, it'll take a lot to get through this. I got to turn off this filter. Every time I take away my voice, or every time I turn my head or something, it cuts my voice out. So if that happens, sorry about that. I want to say we also took this short today too, around the 38s. We did have to sit through a little consolidation, but I remember that's one of the shorts that we came home and took today, and that was around 11 o'clock today. Super, super tight. Let me pull my chats down here, man. I'm bad about not looking at my chat sometimes when I get so focused on charts. Did you take any trades today, Brown Ninja? Ooh, I heard a lot of people's been banging that silver lately. What kind of risk and rewards are you using on that silver? Are you just doing like one mini, or are you doing micros? Because man, minis like what, $50 or something. That'd be that can. Whoo, you can lose some money quick on that. Oh, it was a very tight one. Oh yeah, one mini. Wow, heck yeah. Oh, man. Wow, that's chasing the bag there, man. Like a mini. Yeah, I've been hearing it a lot. Like, just flipping through some TikTok, man. I come across people all the time talking about trading silver. My luck, if I got on silver, I'll be there like 2 seconds and my account will be blown. What's up, Lux? Yeah, we're also trading on YouTube also. YouTube is where I've been streaming at the longest. Just started trading it recently. Yeah, I just started doing TikTok consistently probably last month. And the reason why is because I would mostly just trade the New York session, and the streaming market is so overpopulated during that time that it's really hard to build your channel in the morning. So this is why I'm here in the evening. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of trading the Asian market just because it's so slow. Because what happens, you can't over leverage in the Asian market, because especially if you're just trading the NQ, I heard that trading gold and silver's doing pretty good, but I've never traded those markets, so I'm not comfortable with them to really trade that in front of people. Yo, you're doing the Tesla 1 to 9 puts, good play. I don't know much about the put market or the option market. Yeah, see, I keep hearing that. Do you know when that's supposed to start? I keep hearing about that 24-hour. I'm gonna have to take this one thing off because it drives me insane that it cuts my mic off. I don't know what filter it is. I have a filter on my mic on one of these. Every time I move my head or something, it like cuts my mic out. I'd rather not even have filters if it's going to do that, because that drives me insane. I want to say it has to be the noise compressor. Yeah, I kind of felt it get louder once I took that noise compressor off. Yeah, I think I'll just move that off too. What about now? Okay. I'll just live with it like this. Oh, 99 or 90% of the time you're on the NQ. Yeah, we're breaking our level here. Let me put that back on the 3-minute chart real quick. Still got a minute left. I really don't want to jump in early. Man, the stop loss is big. We still got a minute left on this candle. What you want to see it do is you want to see it make a wick. Not this wick. You want to see your next candle make a wick, say print, kind of open here, push up into this area. Then I think if we are able to get it, I'm gonna click it on 2 contracts. We'll target the 58s. We may get stuck there because, like I said, that's your daily mid session. It's already pushing back above. Still got 20 seconds left. Usually I'm not a big fan of taking trades off of candles that's all stick, especially when it's then pushed up and like it has a hard time for the bears to push down. You want to see it have like a little wick. To me, I feel like it's cleaner. Man, that just made it a little bit more crappy. At least give us a wick. It's not even giving us a wick. Look at that. It's flat. Damn it. Oh, that's... Fuck. Might not get a wick on it. 74 is where I want it to short. Oh, that's so dirty. I feel like we're going to miss it. Let me pull up another chart and see what the 5 minutes look like on this. It looks like we're going to miss this. We got 17 seconds left on this 5 minute chart. Let's see if the 5 minutes can look cleaner. The candle looks cleaner. Still need to have some kind of pullback on this candle. Okay, a little better. Kind of want to see the 50 to this 74 hold here on this candle. Kind of waiting to see if 74 is going to hold. I don't ever usually take trades unless we get some kind of pullback here. And this way, if it does break back above 74, we can just close our entry. Still holding. And we can use the top of this candle as our stop loss. And this way we don't have to have a big stop loss. We can have like, what, 5 points. Sorry if I missed your chat, guys. Yeah, we're short bias below 74. 74 is my line in the sand. So if we do get tagged in, 74 is where our stop loss is going to be. And if it breaks through the 74 on up to the 50, we'll just take this off. And this way we don't get stuck in trades. This way we kind of do trades from the back end. We're still kind of banging on that 74. Even though that 74 level is a support level that I was looking for on the 3-minute charts. So even if we get tagged in, we're only going to be risking 5 or 6 points. So what is that, like $20? $20 a trade? So not a lot of risk. And then if we do get going in the right direction, I like to see if we can target down to the 48s or even the 37s. We're also about 10 points off of the 21 EMA all the way back up to 40 or 82. So if it gets back above 74, then what we can do is just do the fib on this whole leg and look for a pullback up there to the 800s again. Yeah, this market is super grindy. Might get stopped out here. I was hoping it would push there. Like I said, I'm not going to risk more than that 5 or 6 points because that 74 is my line in the sand here. So we're only being this for 6 points if it stops us out. It wouldn't be too bad to try to make up $20. So we do not over leverage in the PM session, guys. We always keep our trade small because you do not want to get and you don't want to dig yourself in a big hole in the Asian market because it's impossible to get yourself out of that hole just because it's so slow. This is probably the only thing about the Asian market you can sit in trades for like 20, 30 minutes. Move like 10 points. This may be our first inside bar. So for anybody that likes inside bar, I think this is the first inside bar of the night. What, 45 minutes? Let's see. 5 o'clock. Nope. Yep. So this could possibly be our first inside bar here. Got a big nasty wick right there. I'm hoping we can run. You got this wick, or you got this. No, this wick here. So that's where my last order is sitting at, below that wick. Like I said, we're only in this 2 micros for about 5 or 6 points. So $20 if we get stopped out. Just so you guys know how much we're risking on this account, because these are small accounts. I think when I get these are like $8 Paideus accounts, and you start off with literally $500 in drawdown. So you cannot over leverage in these things. Woo. Well, the only good thing about them, they're static accounts. So if you can build a nice buffer, you'll get like a nice drawdown. So right now we have about $900 in drawdown on this account because we're up about $400. We got that 10 points while ago, so that's a plus. So if we get stopped out, we're only gonna be like $10 in the hole. So it's giving us another opportunity to get out of the trade if you don't like it. That's a plus sign. If you don't trust the trade, you can exit break even. Because we are, it seems like, run into a lot of support around here, the 60s. I think if I hit 60, I'll go to break even. Maybe 61, 62 area. The only reason I say that, because I don't know if we'll run this wick here. Like, let's just say we run this wick and we could pop back up. Too bad we didn't get short from 71. I was kind of talking as it was breaking 74, and I wasn't paying attention. Just does not look like it wants to get through the 66. You can kind of see all these wicks down here at the 60s. So that was an inside bar to the downside there, guys. So if it goes back up here and breaks this, that means you would have been stopped out on your inside bar. Looks like, yeah, like I said, if you break this, the inside bar is no longer valid, and it was a failed inside bar. Man, I thought we had good momentum down there to that downside. Oh, Ooh, that thing pushed right to the top of that inside bar. I don't know. Did it break it? It's close. I can't see it. I see it, but I can't tell if it broke it or not. Let's see. It's right there at it. Oh, well. Yeah. Looks like we're moving back up, guys. This thing's got, looks like momentum to the top side. Still fairly early. It's only what 6:45, so we still got a lot of trading left tonight. No, we're not buying. We're looking for these shorts down to 58. Maybe this can get our first target. Oh yeah, we do got a little order block way up there, don't we? Finally getting a little volume in here. If we can get now, I'm not sure what happens when we hit that 58, guys. I almost want to go to break even. This way, if it pushes back up, maybe we can get a better entry. Or either get one contract stopped out, then add back into it. Just don't want to get wicked out. We're just going to go to break even. This way, if it does push back and we still like the short, we can get a better entry. I feel like we'll at least hit the 58. I'm just not sure below 58, guys. That's your midpoint. That's your daily mid there from yesterday, the 58. Oh, shit. Sorry about the live over there. Dang it. I hate when I don't pay attention to that. I hate when it does that. That's one thing that drives me nuts with the TikTok thing. If you don't pay attention to the home screen, it'll. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. If I don't pay attention to my home screen and I don't drag that little whatever that, what do you want to call it, that puzzle piece over, it'll shut down my screen, my stream. And I'm bad about not paying attention to that, especially while trading. I'll get so focused looking at charts that I wouldn't even pay attention. So sorry about that, guys. Woo, this thing's on the struggle bus. What's up, Outer? How are you doing today? Oh, over here battling the Asia market, man. Woof. We're really hoping that we can break below those 48s, man. I'm gonna be all in on the shorts if we break the 48s 37 area. All right, let's see if this last little candle right here can at least get our at least get our 58 target. Man, look, we ran this wick. Now we're gonna have to push back up. Son of a bee. If I was positive that that 74 was going to hold, I would have probably just I would have loved to have my entry at 74. This way we could at least got 10 points and look for a runner. Let's pull fib on this real quick and see. See, it's already, man, that thing's already back up almost 100% of the candle. It's probably going to run this wick, so, yep, got stopped out. Come on, that's dirty. Did this thing just run this like a whole leg? Eh. Yeah, it sucks. So we didn't even get the first target. We missed that first target by like a couple points from hitting those. I just still don't see how we don't hit those 58s. More likely your stop loss had to be up here at 74, but the safer of the trades probably going to be below that 38 or 48, 37. So here, you'll kind of have to wait and see what happens with the 58 level. Man. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Let's see what it looks like on the 3 minutes. I doubt the 3 minute looks any cleaner. No, still pretty kind of sloppy on the 3 minute too. Mm. 74 was definitely the short, but if you got short from the 74, you probably got your 10 points. But like I said, I pretty much missed it. I think the time I noticed it, it was already in the 60s, and I tried to get in short around the 60s, 70s, but we were late to it. And I would have been targeting the 58s. That's kind of what we were looking for here. And what that is, that's your mid session of the day. my real short bias is below 48 and 37. If we get below those levels, but we could also play it different. If we find support on those levels, we could be going straight back up overnight. Oh, goodness. The last night movement was definitely a lot better than what we're dealing with tonight. Tonight's price action is horrible, guys. Like, there's nothing. I think right now we're stuck in what, like a 20-point range? Where did we open at? Is it here? Let me get a vertical line so I can see it here. So we opened here. So 97 is the high. So about a 20 to 30 point range is all we have at the moment, guys. So very, very little range at the moment. Sorry about the stream shutting down, guys. On TikTok, if I don't pay attention to my little homepage, it'll shut it down because it'll think that I'm inactive. So I have to like drag over like this little puzzle piece to match up. So it ended up being a break-even trade. We got wicked out by this candle here. So we went to break even because we got down to, let's see, we got down to 60. So we missed our target by about 2 points. And this looks like it's kind of creating another little bear flag here, little 3 candle bear flag here. All right, so we're at the top of the hour. Maybe we'll get a move here. A lot of times at the top of the hour in the New York session or this Asia market, you'll get you'll get a quick hit here at the top of the hour. Whew. New hourly candle here. This is the 3-minute chart. We can see what it looks like on the 5-minute. 5 minutes got a little flag going too. All right, so if you're just joining us, guys, this was my short here that I was waiting for at the 74. We got in a little late. We ended up just getting break even. I told myself we got down to 62, we go to break even, and next candle print kind of it popped that. So let's see what we get here. So this is that leg. Kind of like a nice little 21 touch here. $74? What was that, outer? Sorry. Oh, yeah, you filled in that gap almost right there, didn't it? try this 74 one more time. I think if it gets above the 77 here, we'll close this. I don't want it back above the 21 EMA. I pretty much want this to stay around the 74. And we're right at the 74. So we're right at 72. So 74 is kind of my line in the sand anyway. Like I said, I don't want to dig myself in a hole and have to get out. So I'd rather just close the trade and take the small loss. Because right now we're only in a hole like 12 bucks. So we got 14 seconds. Now this next candle, we got to see some red on it. I do not want this next candle to open on the 5-minute chart and straight up. We will, like I said, I will just close it and re-enter. Did not want to see that. We got a gap fill in here, so maybe this gap fill in will save us here. Then I think past that gap, I'll close it. Got a big 5-minute gap fill in that we could possibly close in. All right, so right now we're down basically 20 bucks in the negative. Sorry if I missed your chat, guys. Yeah, that's what I was looking at too, that gap fill in we have there. We missed it by a few points. Didn't quite get that gap fill in. I did not pull fib on this candle here because if it breaks 76% of this previous candle, we should push. All right, we just broke a good bit of it. Most of the time, if you break that much of it, a lot of times it'll continue. We're targeting 49, guys. That's the PM low. or the PM, yeah, PM low of the day. So we still got a minute left on this 5-minute candle. So hopefully we got enough time to at least hit the first target. This way we can still have a negative R and still be break even. I almost wish I could hold this and we break this 48 and 37 down here, because that's where I really want to short at. And we may even short that later tonight. It may take to the Tokyo Open. So maybe during the Tokyo Open that we can get below that 48 and we can look for a nicer short that we can kind of hold for a while and get like 2 contracts for 20 points. Because tonight's price action has not been that great, guys. I mean, I think you're lucky to get 10 points in this type of price action, because we've only had about 30 points of movement in this. Looks like we're about to hit the first target here. Oh, it kind of stay above this 21. All right, first target hit. So what we can do is maybe we can ride, maybe this 20 will hold and we can ride the 20 down. Or we can also keep 10 points of drawdown, because since we've already got 10 points, even though if it comes back and stops us out for a loss, it'll be kind of like a break-even trade. Yeah, that 48.49 could be the bottom, guys. I gotta watch for that little puzzle on the TikTok, guys, because it'll it'll shut my TikTok stream down if I don't pay attention. That's what happened if you were here a few minutes ago. Then you come back, and that's why the live ended the way it did. Like dirty, dirty, dirty pool, mister. So we did get about a 4-point better entry from the last contracts. All right, I'll break down these levels, what each one of these levels mean. So this the 558, that is the midpoint from yesterday. The 48, that's your New York PM low. You can see this big wick right here. That's the PM low. The 37, that's your AM low. So that's the low from the AM session this morning. So that's why I said I like the short below 48, but I'm just not sure if we're going to get trapped in this area here for a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing us break both areas and just be like downtown all night long. You can go run that previous low yesterday from yesterday all the way down here. Or does it even go farther? Yeah, it's yeah. I think it back down into 400s. So maybe during the Tokyo session, we can get below these levels and look for that really nice short where you just sell off all night long all the way till the London session. Sorry, I just kind of put my charts back there. All right, here's the session mid here at the 58. That's the dotted line. Yeah, have a good green sleep. Yeah, no kidding. That'd be nice. Oh, shoot. Did Methodical Man start streaming? I forgot to let me go over there and see. He is on? Okay. He sent me a text a while ago, asked me if I was streaming. Well, I didn't know what time you were starting. You never said. What is Methodical Man short too? Yep, he's short too. Join the club. He's in Hawaii. Oh shoot. Yeah, 74. Like I said, that 74 has been my line in the sand all night. Man, do we push the limit to see if we can get the 37s, or do you think we bounce? I'm scared we're gonna bounce and that thing will come back and break me even, and that'll be the low. I think what I'm gonna do is just re-enter for a point or so. So we could bounce off the 48, 49s here. Ah, shoot. So, guys, this is the second trade of the night. The first trade was a break even. So we got stopped out. We were able to get a little bit more entry. Uh, Outer pointed out that 5 minute fair value gap that we had back up there that we traded into. I wasn't even paying attention to that gap. I was just focused on 574. And you can see we traded back into this 5 minute fair value gap here. Filled in this gap, then sold down. So if you like to trade gaps, you would have been long or short around the 80s, kind of in the middle of that, looking to see if that gap was going to hold there on that order block there. So Outer is probably up 20 points now. You got short from 79. Oh, goodness. Like I said, this is the only thing about Asia market, guys. You got to be in it for the long haul. You don't want to over leverage. You don't want to get yourself dug in a big hole because it's so hard to get your money back. To me, I like to treat the Asia market of like little bonus hits. So if I can get like 10 to 20 little points here and there, like try to make 40 to 80 bucks. So last night, I think I made 140 bucks in the Asia market. I think I got total of 50 points. I got two 20-point trades with a 10-point trade. So so it was a really good night last night in Asia. Even though I didn't stream it because I didn't get home till after the market opened, so I didn't stream it. But I was trading it. Now, if this thing pushes back up to my where I entered and that area holds, maybe we can add another contract, get another contract to take down. I guess we can. Then I guess if it stops us out, we can always re-enter. I just don't want it to come back and hit that 21 EMA outer. So just in case it's going to run this 20 here. We got the 21 EMA sitting at 573. Let's pull the old Mr. Fib on this leg here and see what we get. So 50% of this leg is at 74, 60%. So I think if it does pull back and as long as this area holds, I think we're good. Yeah, I done got to the point where I try not to even really use crap on my chart no more, guys. Almost everything's level base, support and resistance, and the good old Fibonacci. That's pretty much all my entries lately. See, another thing that I like too, it makes the charts look a little cleaner. If you got something that marks out all the highs and lows for you. So kind of like where you're just not paying attention to all the garbage in the middle. So it's just that way, just kind of marks out your highs. I mean, realistically, like if you pull this, these are just 70 and 80% pullbacks. So here's the fib right there. Let's see. Look. It never reruns that previous candle. Look, it's always 70 to 80% push back down. This is probably a 60% pullback here. This is between 40 and 50% here. So super clean. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen here if we can hit this 48 level. I just hope it doesn't have to get too deep back on this pullback here. So like it'd be nice right here if this is just a nice little bear flag here for the next leg for us to push down. Like I said, you really don't want us back above the 50% of this move. 50 and 60% here. You want to see this hold. Because this one made a high, made a low. We could still have a 10-point stop loss on this and still be a break-even trade. So that's the good thing about hitting our first target here, guys. So I can still have a 10-point stop loss and still be a break-even trade. This is 60%. So if that area there holds, this should be a good sign for us to keep going. What's up, Solo? Well, we did make a new low outer, so I'm hoping this is just a nice little 50, 60% pullback. Now, if it starts getting out of this area here, we'll probably definitely just close the trade. So there's your 60% pullback, also at the 21 EMA. You really don't want to lose your 21 EMA here. You either want to be like this, see how we push back, hit the 21, then push back down. You want to see the same type price action. You want us to stay with this 21. If we start getting above the 21, so like on this next Kindle print, if this thing just starts ripping, it's probably best to get out of the trade. You just want to see lower highs, lower lows. This is you just want to hope we stay the same pattern, the same course all the way until 48. All right, here comes our new candle here. Man, is the market frozen? It's frozen. Like I said, the volume has been horrible. We added to this, so we're going to take that contract to break even. This way, if it comes and stops us out, we're just in the one contract. So 59. Just trying to get another 10 points in here. So we're already at break even on our second contract, guys. Looks like this is going to get our contract here. Yep. All right, so now we're just kind of back to where we were. Let me pull the fib on this one more time. Like I said, you really don't want us back above the 21 EMA here. If we get out of the 70-80% per towel for this one little leg here, we'll probably close this trade because that means it's going to probably make new highs from this previous leg. I'm hoping this is just like the bottom of the hour. So we're about to have a new 30-minute candle. So I'm hoping this is just like a 3-leg pullback, then kind of like a little bear flag. Then we'll move down on this next candle. So we got 14 seconds left on this next candle. So either we're going to rip straight up on this next 30 minutes candle, or hopefully we get the nicer move down to take out those 48s. I think that's why I'm so short biased, is because of those 48 levels. So even in the negative here, guys, we're still at a break-even trade because I got 10 points to risk on this trade. It's been a pretty long trade, guys. Whew. Yeah, we're trying to target the PM lows from earlier today, and we just haven't made it down there yet. We've missed it by just a few points. I think we got down to the 48s a while ago. This area appears still going to be my line in the sand. I'm not going to hold the trade any farther out of the 80 percentile of this trade if we cannot move down. Right now, we're at about 70% of this previous little leg where it made a new high and made a new low. So this is where you need to see to make a new high. You want this to be your next high. Then you want to see it make a new low. And this way it kind of continues to trend to the downside. We got 2 minutes left on this candle, so hopefully we get some push here. Pretty much back to our 74 level that we have been trying to short this whole time. That was another retest of the 74. I haven't really looked at it on my charts to see where it's at on the 3-minute charts. So the one contract we added, we'll probably take it off if it stops us out at 74, and we'll still have the one contract that we've been holding the whole time at the top of this leg here. And that's the one that we're targeting, the 48s. That's your PM low from earlier today. What's up, Christy? How are you doing tonight? I didn't even notice you up there in the lobby. Sorry if you said something in the lobby and I missed it here. What's up, Sad Story? How are you doing? Come on, get a nice little pullback on the 5-minute here and just continue on dumping. Want to see a nice little long boner candle down to the 48s. Now, where we don't want to see is this thing make a lower high. So what we don't want to see is this thing just pull back and get stuck here at 61 and continue. And if it does, probably going to have to change our bias here. Like you really need to see it push to 100% of this leg. So if it pushes down in this area here and just gets stuck, the shorts may be a no-go. Actually, I'm gonna take my one contract to break even, my one I added. I know one thing, I had a lot of time to make my Fibonacci all the specialize with my different colors and so on. So we all right. All right, second contract hit, so we're at least able to sell two 10-point contracts. So, like I said, we're still targeting that 38 or 48. I really want to target way down there if we can break below the 37 and 48s. I will re-enter this if we find support below 50, 58 and 37. And I will try to hold that trade for a long time. So we did run the 100%, as you can see. So the bears are still in control. So the bears are still in control. Long as we broke the previous leg, we're still good. But this area right here could be a nice little soup area because this usually offers a nice 10, 20-point trade from running those previous lows from the different markets or different time areas. So this is your PM low and this is your AM low. It's going good, Christy. I didn't get to trade this morning. I had to take Aspen to the vet this morning, so I didn't get to trade. She is doing better, though. The new vet that I go to is not trying to just make me take tests every time I go in there. You know, they're actually trying to help. So I've really enjoyed the new vet's office that we're going to. I hate that it took me thousands of dollars to get to this point, but it did. Yeah, they're not in there like I think we need to run this test. And I'm like, what's that test gonna solve? Nothing. I feel like I gotta be a douchebag every time I go in that place. Outer, are you still holding or did you get out? Or did you hit your target? This new vet, he's a farm vet, so I have to drive probably about 25 minutes outside of town because they're outside the city in a small town. So They're a farm vet. They do a lot of farm animals. But it's well worth the drive. Yeah, I'll never go to these city vets again. I just tell myself that's what I forget or I get for carrying my dog to a place that looks like a spa. Because that's what it feels like every time I walk in there. It's like some like person medical spa place where they want to run every single test so they can help pay for all their machines and all their 20 doctors that are standing around waiting for the people to come in. So it makes me feel like it's almost like going to the emergency room, going to that place. That's what I feel like. You ever go to the emergency room? I haven't been to the emergency room, but Laura went to the emergency room the beginning of the year, and I just feel like they just ran every test in the book like so unnecessary, and just for us to get stuck with like a $3,000 bill. That's what it feels like going there. For anybody that's ever experienced the emergency room where they want to test everything, and you're in there for like a broken toe, but we need to do an x-ray on your chest. It's like, it's just my toe. That's okay. We need to x-ray your chest to make sure your heart's okay. It feels like one of those. We need to get a CT scan. Oh, shoot. All right, so we may get another little pullback. Let's pull fib on this so we make sure we're out of the range. Oh, shoot. All right, so we're just right above the 76th percentile on this leg here. So I'm hoping we still could risk money on this last contract. So we were able to at least sell off two contracts. I think we're at what 72 right now. So if we can get our last contract, that should put us pretty close to $100. So that'll be a nice little trade, even though this thing's taking forever. So might get $100 tonight if we can hit it at 48 or pretty close. Then what we'll do is we'll downsize if we can get below that 48 and just enter on one micro and see how long we can hold. Or look for like a 20, 30 point move. So 74 has been kind of my line in the sand all night, guys. I've brought up that 74, I don't know how many times. That was kind of like my 3-minute short there. I'm sorry, Outer. Did you say you did hold that short, or did you get stopped out? Oh, it swept your stop. That was on that break even. When you went to break even, it swept that, didn't it? Yeah, I remember that. Because I think I was still having my stop loss about 10 points out. You might get a good soup area off this 48, man. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen. Dude, I'm going to be so annoyed if we hit that 48 and just dump. And a good time for that to happen is at the 15-minute candle. So we're about to have a new 15-minute candle in about 2 minutes. So we'll get a new 5-minute candle, a new 15-minute candle. So you might get a little push here on this 15 new candle. I know. Because that's my short area, guys. I want to see us on that 48. What I want to see, if we're going to take a short, you want to push about 10, 20 points below that 48. Pull back up, retest it, find support, and try to find an entry. And then just hold it and see what would be like the target that we can aim for. I mean, if we can get short around those 50s, then target like the, say, 510s or 520s and try to get you like a nice little 20, 30 point move out of that. because that's breaking out of that PM session. That's that one thing that I've talked about quite a bit, outer. Now, if we get another decent pullback here, I may even try to add again here because this is a new leg. See, low, 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 low. I mean, right now we got a nice trend going. So if we get another push back up, say in the 60 to 70 percentile of this leg, maybe put another entry there at the 65. So let's just see. But what could happen is that where you make this bigger leg up, then go back down. That's a possibility too. We'll just put it at this next leg up then. This way, if it gets above this leg, it's not going to continue down right away anyway. So it's going to have to basically, find some liquidity up here for us to move down. So that was the 50% pullback. So let's see if that 50% holds and we can get that first target of the 48s down here. Man, every time I make a video on how to set up Fibonacci, I found out new stuff. So I've just been messing with it more and more lately, where you can customize your Fibonacci for anybody over here that likes to run fibs with your legs. I've become a really big fan of running Fibonacci on my legs lately. And I used to not do that. I just recently started doing that more and more. And it definitely seems to work on some of these larger moves. It's crazy how many times that you'll just run the 70 and 80 percentile. Just even the individual legs. I started about doing it just on the 5-minute candles, because usually what I'll do is to kind of decide if I'm going to take a short, like on some of these 5-minute candles, I just pull fib on the candle. As long as the 50% of that 5-minute candle holds, we will be pretty much all in on the trade. We would have our entry sitting down here at the where it closed. So yeah, I've watched a few of those. I haven't commented though, but if you want me to, I will. How your sales been going on your TikTok shop, Christy? Uh-oh. Ooh, that puzzle, and it started on me again. You've actually made a few sales? Nice. What's up, man? How are you doing tonight? Pretty good. We've been in this trade for a long time. You know how it is trading the Asia market, guys. It's just a straight grind. You just got to be in it for the long haul. This is why I say not to over leverage in the Asia market, because if you get in, I've done that before where I've over leveraged and got down in an eval or something before, and I'm like, F it, full port it, and full porting is not meant for Tokyo session. You'll just get chopped up. Man, I've been getting like spam calls like crazy, guys. I don't know where my number got put at, but I feel like I've been getting crazy spam calls. Yeah, to me, I like trading the Asian market with just a few micros, like 2 micros. Yeah, spam every day, man. It's like it just doesn't stop. Like I literally have no one calling me. I have literally spam call people calling me. I mean, my kids don't call my phone a lot. My wife may call, and Methodical Man may call, but that's it. The rest of the people is all spam. I feel like they need to send me like some kind of like reimbursement for the how much time they wasted my life looking at my cell phone just because someone's calling. Think of how many, like every 2 or 3 seconds you pick up your phone, look at it, you're like, oh, I don't know that number. You just this is the NQ. This is not S&P. I do watch the S&P. I like watching the levels on S&P, but I do not trade the S&P. Uh I think when I first started trading, I traded the S&P, but for the last year or two, I've been strictly the NQ. And this is the MNQ. So these are micros. They're not minis. So these are just $2 a point. And most of the time, I'm usually just trading 2 to 3 micros because you can actually make quite a bit off of just a couple micros in the NQ because the market's moving so fast. And you got to think most of these 25 and 50K prop firm accounts, at the end of the day, it's only what, $1,500 of drawdown or $3,000 of drawdown. And with the mini, that is not very much. The US 30. Is that what you trade? I'm not sure if I ever heard what you mean by US 30. I don't know if I quite understand that. All right, so this was a 50% pullback on this leg here. So if we keep that higher low moving forward like we have been, so hopefully this will get us to that 48 that we're looking for. Yeah, my target, Anthony, is the PM session low. Let me bring over, like, this is where most of the time I get my targets at, especially whenever I'm trading this late at night. Oh, so he's trading Forex. That's Forex? Okay. All right. Now, if you can lose this PM session right here low, you're going to get a nice sell off because most of the time, from my experience, whenever we lose the PM low or either the PM high, we do not come back to it. It'll just keep going and going all the way up until the PM session. It's kind of like this right here. See how we lost the New York PM session, but it happened fairly close to Tokyo's session. So I think that's the key. Might have to wait till the Tokyo market opens in about 8 minutes. So as soon as we got outside that PM session, it's pretty much up all night long. This one didn't get lost. It didn't get above that PM session until London session. So what really sucks, so like this was another one. This is the one that me and Methodical Man traded last Tuesday. I want to say last Tuesday. We traded this one because it was another setup. Same thing. See how we dipped below the PM session, did a little retest, and it was just downtown all night long. This is one of the better type moves if you can catch those early in the night, and it gives you like all night to catch that. But you only get it maybe once a week. That's the only thing. Twice a week. So I feel like if you can get one of those and also the opening, I feel like the opening's really good too. So it was the same thing last night. Like we took 50 points out of the market last night. So if you go back and look, anytime that we leave a gap behind, it's pretty much going up all night long. So, and if you mark out your dailies and the previous day's highs and lows, so this little indicator marks out the previous days and highs in the mid session for me. So I probably would have targeted the 530s. I think we took 50 points out of this. We took two 20-point trades and a 10-point trade last night. But like I said, I wasn't streaming. I didn't get home till after the market had opened already. man, we just cannot get down there, guys. I just don't know if we're going to end up moving back up to the top side before we take out those areas. We're going to still stay in this trade to the top of this leg, because if it breaks this leg, it's probably going to have to make a higher high, then end up coming back down. But I'm not going to sit through a bunch of drawdown. So I think right now we're just in this trade for what, 2, 3, 5 points. So that's only like $10 left in this trade. And we can always re-add if we do push up into this area. See, we just hit the 86th percentile of that leg. Let's see if that holds. If I pull fib on this leg, I bet you we hit the freaking 80 percentile. Yep, we did. For some reason, I feel like my mouse is backwards here. Let me find it here. I think it's this one here. Uh-oh. Sounds like Methodical Man hurt somebody's feelings. Uh-oh. All right, maybe this will be our new... Where are you short from? Who said they were short? Anthony? Anthony, where are you short from? See, I've never done Forex trading either. 575. Oh yeah, that's a nice short area too. I like that short. That was my line in the sand tonight too, that 74. All right, so maybe this will be our next little small leg here. Then we can move down here. Might have to wait for the Asia market. Maybe when the, not Asia market, but maybe when that Tokyo market hits at 8 o'clock, we'll get a nice push. Dudes, come on. So yeah, you just don't want to start making higher lows on these next legs. That's the only thing I would not be a big fan of. I can't believe that we done missed our target by like less than 3 points here. No, I don't really follow any of that type stuff as far as the I mean, I guess you can somewhat believe the liquidity seeking where it goes after. I mean, it's because I do trade like trend line breakouts a lot, where you know have those nice little 5-minute trend line breaks. Then after building up liquidity. As far as seeking it, I'm not sure. I know a little stuff about the ICT stuff, but I don't know a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot of it to like talk about it. I just know very little stuff as far as his stuff goes, like the fair value gaps where, you're either running highs and lows and you're looking for like a pullback into the gap for a position. It's kind of like this. This is kind of a little model here. You got a high, you got a low, then you got to pull back into this big 5-minute fair value gap. I think the only thing that I've struggled with I've tried listening to ICT, like, it's been probably over a year ago. I can't get past like the rambling stuff that like I prefer to be more direct. Like if I'm going to learn something, I want someone to just say, this is what it is. This is what you do. It's so hard for me to get past the preaching part of it. If you're trying to learn from somebody, if that's your if that's your niche, is to teach people how to trade. I've never have gone into trading as teaching people. I feel like I'm just here with the rest of you guys. I'm here learning with the rest of you guys. This is why if anybody wants to share advice, I'm all about listening, and because I figure everybody has something to offer, because everybody is putting time into this to learn what works for them. It may not work for everybody else, just like what I do doesn't work for everybody, but maybe there's something I do that may work for you. I don't know. So I don't ever do the whole like teach people how to trade stuff. Like I don't feel like I'm that good enough at trading to teach people how to trade. Man, this sucks. We're gonna probably end our, yeah. So it looks like we're gonna probably get this leg broke here because that's looking pretty bullish there. So we may be able to find another entry. Then what we can do is we could pull fib on this leg and see if we get like a 70 to 80% pullback up here. Then look for another short. Because right now this is the Tokyo sessions open. So this is the 8 o'clock Tokyo session. There's usually a little bit of volume thrown into the market. That's why you see this little heartbeat pump here. So unfortunately, it's going in the wrong direction. I'd have much rather seen it go and take out those lows down at the 48s. Hopefully it just doesn't wick past our stop loss here, then just sell back off. Yeah, if it works for you, that's fine. A lot of people, like I said, I think what I've done with ICT, I just took small stuff that worked for me, that was easy for me to grasp and understand. I didn't get into all the technical stuff. So the one thing that I used to trade at the ICT is, and I still do, if they're like good setups, is I like taking the inversion trades, like the failed fair value gap trades. I don't know if you ever done those. I like doing those. If I can remember them or look for the setups, I will take them, but sometimes I forget about them. Like that's a very easy concept to trade. Either that or run the low. So like a while ago, if we were at least able to run those 48s, then you can look for a gap back up to the upside. But it looks like we're probably going to get stopped out on this trade because I'm not going to risk more than the 6 points that we're already in this trade. We were able to at least get 2 contracts sold off because we got a 10-point winner. We re-entered, got another 10-point winner. This is the 3rd contract that we've been holding probably since 5:30, 6 o'clock. We've been in this trade for a good while. Yeah, I want to say I did try to watch not a lot of them, but I did watch a few of the ICT mentor things that he had on there. Like I said, this has probably been a year and a half ago. Like I said, I struggle with the random, like the other like conversations that's not directly tied to trading. That's what I have a hard time getting through with the ICT videos. But I think there's other traders that have took a lot of his stuff and maybe broke it down to where it might be easier to understand. And it's trying to start and trying to, what does you want to call, dissect his dissect what he's trying to teach. Yeah, that's what I feel. I think you just got to find your niche. I think that's what I've done over the years is, if you watch different traders, just, you know, well, maybe I like the way that is. I can use that. But if not, because that's what I've done over the years from just watching different people. It never hurts to try something new. So lately, I've been trying to just get away from like a lot of like just indicators on my charts and mainly just use like percentage base on my pullbacks and look for more. I try to make sure I take a lot more entries into like, discount or premium. So like short premium, buy in discount. So it looks like we I think we got above this leg here. Let's see. Nope, we did not break that leg still. See, this thing could make a high up here and run this leg here, like back up to the 88s or something. Man, I almost want to add another contract here. Hmm. All right, looks like our runner contract's finally gonna get stopped out, guys. I would hoping we would got a better push down to the 48s here. Nope, it's still, man. I want to try to add. All right. Oh yeah, if you're still in a few, I'm just in that one contract. I'm still in that one contract that I've been in almost all night long. And this 74 area is still going to be my line in the sand. So if we break back above 74, we'll just get stopped out. Because I'm not going to hold this in to draw down. So if it comes up here and stops me out for my last contracts, it just stops me out. And we'll just wait for another setup. Or maybe we can get a better short farther up. I feel like we could push up to the 88s here. I want to say the 88s here. What is that? 88, 87 areas for possible short. I may do like a backdoor trade where we take the trade and just kind of, let me see. This leg here. Yeah. So if we push up here, I will look for another short off of 88. So 88 will be my next short here. If we get stopped out on this contract here, we will take a short at the 88. I won't put a resting order. So what we'll do is we'll wait for the order to push through, and we're going to take it from the backside if we take it. So I don't ever usually put resting orders. So with Quantower, you can hit this little mouse right here and see, then you can bring your mouse over here and click left or right to where you want to place it. So this is how we place our orders on Quantower. Quantower has probably the easiest to put orders on your charts for anybody looking to put orders on Quantower. I'm just not that used to Quantower, so I don't trade them a lot. Yeah, trust me, I'm not feeling the shorts as much as I was earlier since we did not hit our, what do you want to call it, our 48. I was really hoping that we would get that 48 down there, outer. I don't really like when it freezes up like that. Either that or we can close the trade if we close above the 21 EMA here. We still got 3 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. Yeah. Yep. All right, we're going to probably just go ahead and close this because our runner is going to get stopped out. Well, we're still in the green by 20 bucks. So what I'll do here is I'm going to take a short up here around the 90 level. So what we're going to do is just look for 10 points. It's just going to be a 10-point trade only. And I'm going to wait for it to push up through the 90s. So you want to see it kind of push through the 90s because this is looking pretty bullish. And we're just looking for a 10-point stop loss. And wherever that wick is on this candle, that's where we will put our stop at. And what we'll do is we'll take a trade on the account, the one that we're up, I think 800. So we have one account that we're up. Oh, shoot. I clicked on it. So we're up 887 on this account. So So we did not break that 48s, man. I cannot believe that we did not touch those 48s, guys. That's just insane to me. We're not going to do anything, like I said, unless it goes to the 88s here. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your text there. Hmm. This thing's probably going to end up running without me. We're back at the 21 EMA. I can't believe that we didn't make it to the 88s. We got up there, what, to what, 80? We hit almost the 80s. Was anybody still holding their short? I gotta bring this over. Like I said, thank you guys for the likes and follows tonight. You're still holding two, Anthony? I'm probably not going to re-enter. I'm going to probably wait till we run that 48 and see what happens at the 48. I was going to try to short the 88s if we pushed up there above the 88. I wanted to see a wick above 88, then I push back down. But if we don't get there, it's not a big deal either. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably risk like $100 on this next trade. Because like I said, I think we're up quite a bit on this account. If you add the $500 to it, because this is a static account, we're up 887. Then you add $500 to that because this is a $500 static account, so the drawdown does not move. So whatever how much you make, you just add that to your drawdown. So we have quite a bit in drawdown, and we got to make it to $1,500 on this account. 2 micros, yeah, that's good for this time. I like those some of those prop firms that don't do like the renewals because that's like a lifetime $8 account. No, I'm still looking for shorts. I wouldn't like a long unless you get through the 88s. If you can get through the 88s, then you might possibly get a nice long, but you got to get through the 88s first. There's a lot of wicks. If you look to the left here, Look at all these wicks here sitting up at the 88s and 90s. This is why I say that we may get a good bounce here in the 80s. We've already just hit it once. I just feel like, man, we could get another hit here. Just waiting. Now, if it don't push us through, we miss it. We miss it. It's not a big deal either. It needs to push up into the 90s. And you can also see how big your stop loss needs to be too. We don't want to get tacked into this. We're just looking for 10 points too, guys. Sorry if I missed your chat. We're just watching that level with the 88 first. Now, I usually don't put resting orders. The reason why I don't do resting orders is just because if that level doesn't work, you're not just stuck in that position. You can just wait and see what kind of reaction you're going to get. Then you can always do the backside of that. If we don't start pushing back down any second now, we'll probably close this trade because you want it to be pretty fast. You don't want to sit here and just hold this. 91, 92 area is probably going to be my line in the sand. I don't want us making a new high here. This way we just minimize our loss if we do take a loss. We're at the 88s. We're just not pushing back down. So we're still kind of sitting there at the 88s. All right, we're going to go to break even. This way, if we don't get it, it's a free trade. So we're just looking for 10 points. So this is why, like, This is why I like taking backdoor trades. I call it backdoor trades just because I like to come in from the backside. And this way I don't get caught on the other side. And you can see how big your wicks. So it looks like we're going to get stopped out here. Okay, so we got up, what, about 5, 6 points. Didn't quite get the 10. And it still could work. I've seen those where you hold these and these still work because that's the high. I still feel like 88's your key. The only reason why I went to break even fast because I was in that for 5 micros. So we were looking forward to see if we can get a quick $100 off of that trade. And so that's why we went to break even faster. If we just had like 2 micros, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But we were in that kind of heavy for this account. All right, so we are pushing that level hard now. So now what we can do is wait for the pullback. So this will be a leg, then maybe we'll finally get some movement or something. Man, start moving. Really want to see us break these highs, then have that pullback leg. Like pull back 50 to 60% little leg, then look for a long. I don't know if we lost. Yeah, we think we lost $20 in fees, so we're negative $20 on that last trade. We still did not break this leg here, though. That's it. That's the only thing. You got to break this leg. Now, I still like the pullbacks if this leg cannot break that previous high. So if it stays under that, that's still. But as once it breaks that 97, it's no longer a valid leg to pull the fib on. Once it breaks that 97, it's a whole new leg because then you'll have a new low and a new high. All right, so it looks like we're about to break that. So this is no longer And it's like, yeah, it's about to break it. So now what you'll have to do is wait for, you'll pull fib on this leg here, then you can wait for like a 50 or 60% pullback, then possibly look for longs. So you can pull it like this. So if this is going to be the high, more likely 10 will be the high because most of the time you'll break off the 10 here. Then look for another pullback into the 50 to 60%. Then you can look for a long out of this area. Anybody trading silver tonight? There's one guy in here trading silver to the moon. Yeah, we're going to have to wait for a pullback and look for entry, methodical man. Man, I was really hoping that we would have got below those 48s down there. I hate that we never got below those 48s. What's up, Christian? How have you been? You do at the lows and highs, Justin, of that leg. It depends if you're just doing the individual inside legs or if you're doing the whole outside leg. These are just inside legs here. So this would be on your smaller scale. So if you want to do like a whole leg, the outside whole leg is this one from here today. So it would be this one here. So this was from today. So this will be the day's average here. So we pushed up. Technically, I mean, we're still, as far as the daily goes, we're still in discount because right now we're just at like 30 something percent pullback. If you're looking at the overall percentage of the move. So this is why I was so bearish this evening because I thought we were easily going to get down and take out the 48s here. And I just feel like we have all this to the downside that we possibly could run tonight. These are just inside legs. Highs and lows are the inside legs. It depends also which charts you're using. So for Quantower Fibonacci, it's this little bitty line down here. And you select it, then it's already kind of selected. Then you find the low of this leg here. Since we're going up, you start at the bottom. Then just kind of pull it up to where it matches. And it can, nope, I'm sorry. From the top, you want to go like this. If you're looking for a pullback, sorry. So now we're just kind of looking for the pullback back into the 50 and 60% here for a possible long. I know I found some more settings on the Quantower Fibonacci that you can customize it a little bit more. So if you click on your fib, click the little settings icon, go to fibs, and then you just kind of select on it, and then you can either change the size of the bar, the size of the text, and you can make it whatever color you want. So you can do quite a bit of little, customizations if you do use the fib. What's up, Tony? How are you doing today? Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong chat. That's over there. Looked at the wrong chat. How funny. Anthony, you're still not holding that short, are you? Did you get out of your short? See, I feel like we possibly could at least push back to the 75s here, and that would be your 50% mark here. Most of the time, if you play whole numbers, we'll hit like say the 600, then we'll have a pushback to the 75, and then we'll move back up back through the 600. Then if we lose the 75, you could easily have that pull back to the 50 for anybody that likes to trade off of whole numbers. Oh, 601 is your hard stop. I wasn't sure if you were going to hold it past that 75 level. I figured you would have closed around that 75 level. I'm still just kind of waiting to see if we get some kind of decent pullback here to the 60s and 70s. Then maybe we can get another entry. '74 has kind of been my line in the sand for most of the night. 74 is a nice little run there at the 74s. You would think that we would get a pullback here. I mean, you might even get close to your 74. I would just think with all this consolidation that we had here that we would just get stuck. Like we just wouldn't have the volume to push like here. There's a lot of lot of volume right here, throughout the day. I mean, look how many times we kind of went through this area that you would think that we'd at least get a pullback down to the 75s here. So it's been really a really slow, tight trading session tonight, guys. I mean, we've only have about 40 points of movement tonight. We got down to what, 52 as far as our low goes, and the high was up here somewhere in the 90s. I mean, we only got like a 40-point span of trading tonight. So the volume has been horrible. So it's just been a struggle just to get 10 or 20 points tonight. We got a couple little 10-point winners, but that's probably been about the most of it. Most of our stuff has either been break even type trades. So usually we keep a fairly tight stop loss if we do go in a little bit heavy. And that's what I did a while ago. I went in with 5 micros, and that's why we went to break even after we got up 4 or 5 points. So we missed our target by like 3 or 4 points on that last trade. Now we're just kind of waiting. It could be one of these deals where you consolidate sideways, then just, pop out the top here. So like I said, it could be one of these type deals here where you kind of have this consolidation box, and if you more likely you're probably going to break out to the tops because you have all this daytime movement that we could rerun. But I just still think it's going to take a lot because hell, look at all these candles here. It's going to take a lot to get through this too. Then right now, this is where you're stuck here. You're stuck on this one here. I just don't feel like Tokyo session is going to be a struggle just to get through that. Solid dash lines middle. Oh. I don't guess it lets you see through the box like that. Is there a clear? Oh, there it goes. So you can take out that. Oh, I see what it is. Oh, man. Might be one of these nights that we don't really get anything. It'd be pretty much a break-even night. I think our biggest losses were down $20 on this account here. And that's mainly because of fees, not necessarily because it was a break-even trade. So time you add the fees in kind of puts us at negative 20. Then I think the other account we're just up $20. So like I said, most of all of our trades have been break even. We have not had a lot of movement tonight. I think we got a total of 40 points. So tonight's been a pretty tough Asia market. That's the only thing that sucks about staying inside this PM session. If you go back and look at all those previous areas that are marked out for the PM 2 hour session, if your Asia market cannot get out of that session, it will literally just be, it's kind of like that three rule thing that they talk about, where the Asia market's consolidation, the London is the manipulation, and then the New York session is the big move. So maybe that means New York's going to be a nice little move. So you'll get Asia market will consolidate sideways. The London, you'll get one move probably to the upside or downside. Then the New York session, that's where you get your 200 or 300 point move. For anybody that follows those type of things, the consolidation, manipulation, then the move. It's actually better for the people who trade New York if it does stay consolidating. In this way, you'll get the better move probably in the New York session. Anthony, I was hoping you get that pullback down to the 75. At least let you either decide to get out of this trade without much of a loss. So, oh goodness, this thing's putting us to sleep. What kind of account are you trading, Anthony? Is it like a cash account or eval or funded account? Is it eval? Okay. That's all I trade mostly in the Asia market too, is evals. I haven't really found anything like the only night that I've seen good moves to probably trade your funded accounts in the Asia market like this. If you can break below the PM session, like I've said, or maybe like the daily or the low or the daily high, if you can break out of those sessions. But looking at all these consolidation areas to the upside, it's gonna take a while to get through all this. So hopefully we get some kind of pullback here. Maybe a little retest of the 21 EMA or even a 75 retest. But I don't know if it's going to be one of those deals. If you ever notice like the market has like where it has like a repeat where, once it starts trading a certain way, it'll do the same thing over and over. So like during the daytime, you won't get a nice pullback. You'll just get the consolidation barcode sideways, and then you get the breakout. Consolidation sideways, breakout. Consolidation sideways, breakout. Like those type of moves. And I've always hated these type of trading. I'd never do that good. I don't know why. It took me in the beginning. I struggled really bad with the whole barcoding breakouts. Like you would just get chopped up if the ATRs move. It's kind of like this. Look how big this is. I mean, you would have just got ate up in the New York session this morning. Oh. Yeah, this right here would have just ate your lunch if you tried to trade this morning. I'm kind of glad I had to go to the vet's office just because this would have been messy to trade this morning. Nice. Where'd you find your entry at this morning in the New York session? Did you wait for we got out of this whole chop zone here? Oh, gave it back to the right. Well, you're supposed to downsize. That's usually the key though. Did you give back all 300, or maybe just risk like 150, or you should have came in and say, okay, I'm not going to risk more than $100 tonight. New York session. Yeah, it was late morning. Okay, so it was later in the day. That's when I took my trades too. I took I want to say I took this one here. I actually got in this short right here today, below 38. 38 was my short here. I had to sit through a little bit of drawdown, then we got this push down to here. This is where I got short at today for my trades. Because I didn't get home till almost 11 o'clock this morning, so... Come on. So if we can get the pullback here into the 70s, maybe look for a long here if we can pull back into the 50, 60% of this leg. But I don't know if we will. Like I said, this is not really like normal pullbacks. These are like the barcode type price action. If not, we just walk away tonight. Like I said, that'll just leave us $20 in the red on this account. This is the one that we made, I think, a little over $100 today, because we were in the 700s and we're up to 868. And this other one, I don't think we're up like $20. Actually, we're only time you add the fees in there, we're only actually up 6. So we usually try to keep a very tight stop loss with our accounts in the nighttime. So really practice the whole, what do you want to call it, risk management. That's why a lot of times I do like backdoor trades. And this way it's easier to get out of the trades if it doesn't go against you, and you already know how much you're risking when you enter. Because I'm using the previous wick as my stop loss. So you already know how much you're risky before you enter. And it also keeps you out of those trades that just blows up your, say if you got a resting order sitting at 90, it just gets blowed up and then you're just in it and there's nothing you can do about it. Those are the worst. I can't stand that whenever. Oh, you took the one at the 38 too? That was your short? Nice. So gold's the one that took your money today or this evening? Gold will rip your heart out, especially if you're trading minis. Gold is what, like $100 a point or $100 a contract? Okay, so gold's $20 a point. I always thought it was like $50 to $100 a point. Man, I thought it was a lot more. Are you sure? I thought gold was a lot. For one mini gold contract. Let's see. Because I thought it was like the ES. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. I hate that happens too. So usually I trade on Ninja. If you're in my lobby in the New York session, usually all my trades are taken on Ninja. Oh my goodness, this market is horrible tonight, guys. See, GD or GC gold futures. All right, make sure I'm on a sim account. Oh, so I can. All right, we're gonna do the opposite. So is gold done by the tick? Dude, that thing's already at like 170 bucks for 2 points. What? Is that $20 a tick? Is that what you were talking about? $20 a tick? Let me see. I think that's what you're saying. $20 a tick, like a little tick. Ah, that is insane. Man. Oh, it is $100 a point. Okay. I don't ever trade it, so I know very little about it. And even whenever I did try to trade it, it sure wasn't on no mini. It was just a semi, like a micro. This is just a sim. I was just curious. This thing just went up 2 points. You're up like 200 bucks. Yep. This thing, you can either like get a crazy amount of money or just get wrecked. But you know this would go the right way because I'm in a sim account. All right, let me close this. All right, let me go back over there to our chart so we can watch. All right, so we just broke out of our idiot box, guys. So we're not going to get that pullback. Yep. So we just got the idiot box here. That's still insane. I mean, you imagine like full porting a freaking gold. Woof. You'd have to have some pretty large accounts. Maybe. And I think silver's like 50. Silver's pretty pricey too. If you ever try trading silver. I don't think we're going to really get any good trades tonight, guys. I think we're just going to be stuck where we're at. So, I mean, if you look at our trading window is super small. So this right here has pretty much been our trading session tonight. It's been super, super small, super tight. 40 to 50 points. I mean, it's really tough to try to find something in this area. So the best part, whenever markets like this, just try to survive and, hold on to, if you are going to take a loss, just keep your losses small as you can. And you can always get that back in the New York session. If you only lost like less than $100 or something, you just don't want to end up full porting or, go tilt in the Asia market. Did you end up closing your trade, Anthony, at that 601? Down 188. What was that? Oh, that was 25 points. If you said you were short from the 75s. So that leaves you, 120 still in the green from today, if you count today's price action. So at least you didn't lose all 300. Tonight's been super tough, man. The price action is just not there tonight. Usually what happens to me is once it stops me out, it's going to go back down there to where your target was at the 75. That's usually what happens to most of us. I haven't done too much better tonight, man. Like I said, I think we got up to like 70, $80 while ago. We ended up losing it. This was the first account that we were trading. I think we're up 400 in the green, but we have like $900 in drawdown on this account. I don't know if you ever traded Paideas. These are like $8 lifetime accounts that they have. These are probably some of the cheapest accounts out there, but the thing about it, you don't get a lot of drawdown. You only get $500 in drawdown. And this was the second trade that we took here, and that's where actually no, this was that trade where I tried to short that 88 and I got up like 5 or 6 points, then it come back and hit my break even spot. So that's how I lost the $11 there. I think we've taken a total of 3 trades tonight. We were stuck in that one trade forever at the 74, 75. We kept hitting it, pushing down, hitting it, pushing down. And I was looking for 48. So I almost wish I would have just took my 10 points. But you never know what the market's going to be like. You didn't expect us to only move down 10 points. So you're on the alpha futures. I've never used alphas accounts. Right now, all my funded accounts are with Apex and Bulanox. So we have, I think, 8 funded accounts at the moment. And the only reason why I've been building them with, so I recently started trying to, like, any prop firm I use now, I would need it to be probably with Tradeovate. This way I can copy trade on my Ninja charts. Because a lot of times I'll copy trade my funded accounts. And this way I can have that one Ripnik account, which is through Bulanox. And then I can copy trade the Tradeovate accounts. This way you can copy trade across, you know, the 2 platforms. Because I like Ninja charts, because that's about the only thing I've really trade consistently on is the Ninja charts. The Paideus accounts, I have to trade those on Quantower. And I'm not even a big fan of these Quantower. So I'm not very fast with Quantower. I feel super slow, like when going in and out of trades. I can't be as quick as I need to be as far as adding contracts, taking contracts off. So I'm not that good at trading Paideus. That's why I just trade it mostly in the evening time, like this time of the night where it's slow. And so it's a lot easier for me to trade than it is to trade this during the New York session. I know you can do all that stuff on here. It's just I'm not that comfortable with the Quantower charts. Who do you trade your charts on, Anthony? Like, who are you your charts on? See, I'm not even sure what Alpha trades on. Do they also trade their stuff on Ninja? TradingView? See, I've never used TradingView to trade either. For some reason, it looks like their candles move slower. Or is that just me? Yeah, so as you can see, so right now we're just kind of stuck inside of the PM session from today. So what these are called, okay, they do have Tradeovate Ninja, but you never use them. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I've never tried to trade on TradingView. I know they have it. Like, I know you can go down here to your trading panel and add it. You can see where. Is this where you would add your connected brokers? So whoever your stuff is with, you would just connect it to your TradingView charts. Is that how that works? Or, okay. Yeah, so I've never used it. I know it's down there. I've just never done it. Okay, so you connect Tradeovate. Okay. Yeah. I like Tradeovate. I think Tradeovate is very good for someone who's new to trading. Their charts are so simple to use. It's, if you're just looking for somewhere to add like maybe a little few EMA or, little moving averages, their charts are so easy to use. So what I've been doing, so I guess similar to what you're doing with TradingView is with my Riptic account on Ninja, I've been trying to build up my Tradeovate accounts with my funded accounts, and this way I can copy trade between Tradeovate and Bulanox at the same time. So last week before the New Year's, I think I've been recently copy trading 2 or 3 funded accounts at once. But I think tomorrow we're going to do 2. We'll go back to just using 2. Trade like 1 Bulanox, 1 Apex at the same time. Or either at 2 Bulanox and 1 Apex or something. Because with Apex, you can let your account sit forever. With Bulanox, you have to take at least 1 trade a week. If not, they'll try to close your accounts. Hopefully no one got stuck in a bad trade tonight where you're over leveraged, guys. Because this is, like I said, this is why I do not overtrade the Asian market. Because there's nothing worse if you go in super heavy and just get stuck. You can be sitting in this freaking thing all the way till London session. Trying to get out of it. Oh, it's the end of the day. Yeah. I think the reason why I don't use some of the other prop firms like that, because I don't like the larger upfront costs. I'm not sure how much alpha costs, but I think it's more. I think with them you pay more up front than it's cheap on the back end, right? Are they one of those kind of like Take Profit Trader where you spend more up front? Like with Take Profit Trader, you got to pay like 90 to $100 up front, but it's a like that's all in costs. I think it depends on where you're at in your trading strategy. You know, if you're just starting out, I would recommend just a cheap eval or get a cheap eval and trade a sim account. That way you get free data. But I wouldn't use a prop firm that you got to spend $100 for a eval if you're just starting out, because you know you can easily blow up your eval, be out $100. Because you're more likely you're going to blow your eval up. If you're going to do that, you might as well just put $100 cash in an account. So, like, I want to say right now, like, Bulanox costs more on the back end, but they cost very little up front. Apex right now costs little upfront costs, but they're about medium on the next end. Because I think Apex you're all in for about 88. Bulanox you're going to be in it for a 160. But Bulanox has very slack rules. If you're looking for a prop firm that don't have a lot of rules, they're probably one of the better ones. The only rule that they're really strict with is that consistency rule, where you can't make more than 40% on a funded account. Yeah, you blown up a couple. How much does the alpha account cost to upfront, Anthony? So that upfront cost, that's what you get. Like that's a one-time fee. So if you pass that, you get your funded account on the very next as soon as you pass it, right? Are they kind of like Take Profit Trader and who is the other one that's like that? I have discount code with them. God, why can't I think of the name of those guys? Uh, I would have to put it in my Google chat to remember that. Another company that's cheap up front too is Padeas. Oh, it's $99. No, I'm not trading on trade day at the moment. Yeah, I think trade day is like Top Step too. No, the three prop firms that I'm trading at the moment is Apex, Beulah Knox, and Padeas. Padeas is like old Apex rules. So once you get to $1,500, you can take out the whole 1,000 instead of just the 500. So they have the old Apex rules. And if you can catch Padeas on when they run those discounts, you can get one of their evals out the door for $8, and like you'll be all in for basically $80. Or they have another thing that you can do. I think it's like $55 all in. If you can handle trading a small account. No, it's a static account. Yeah, that following drawdown doesn't bother me too much, just because I try to keep a strict stop loss. So I try to make it, if I lose more than $100, I just put it away. So most of my trades, whenever I trade, I'm usually risking $80 because I'll be in with two micros, and I try to keep it. I try to keep it around like a 20-point stop loss at the most if I can. I never buy breakout. So like I never buy a breakout candle. I always wait for a close of a candle where I'm only trading on the very next 5-minute candle. So I'm always waiting. So these are the 5-minute charts. So like I would never buy this breakout candle, especially if it's got a big wick. Most of the time I look for full body candles, and then I'll pull fib on the individual candle, and then I'm looking for like a, percent pullback. So this was probably, just by looking at this, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 20% pullback. So this would be, so a lot of times this is what I'll do, like on my 5-minute candles. Like if I feel like we're going to continue breaking out, I'll just pull fib on that candle. And as long as the 20 to 30% holds, it should continue moving higher. In this way, it kind of keeps me getting stuck in it also helps you from getting stuck in trades too, like this. Like let's say if this candle right here is moving up pretty good, and a lot of times people will just buy it before it even close. Then all of a sudden you're in a 20-30 point wick pullback. It'd be like one of these candles right here. You don't waited till over half the candle to print, and you jump in down here. And next thing you know, you got like a 30-point pullback. Like this morning. this morning was horrible about it. Look at all these big wick pullbacks. Yeah, Beulah Knox is good. Not anything larger than a 50K, but like I said, they're probably one of the little bit more expensive ones on the back end, but they're cheap up front. Especially if you're new to trading, I usually recommend Beulah Knox because most of the time they're running like 91%, so you can get their accounts for like $15. But it is more on the back end though, so that's kind of the trade-off. I like Apex. The only thing that I'm not a fan of Apex is I like them as far as like, them like, paying out unless I don't ever recommend, running up your account to like big money. I'm not a fan of on the Apex accounts is the, what do you want to call it? That 30% rule drawdown. That's probably the only rule I'm not a big fan of. So like if you get caught in a bad trade, and it doesn't happen to me a lot, but I know it has cost a lot of people their accounts by like not getting denied payouts because of it. Like my last payout that I got denied because of because of that. That's usually one of the biggest denies on payouts is that 30% drawdown. So it's not that if you lose the trade, so like let's just say you join a trade and let's say, you just happen to let your account go and draw down like $500 or $600, you're already broke the rule. So even if the rest of your trades are good, you're gonna get denied payout because you allow your account to go 30% in drawdown. Just because of that one mistake you might have made that day. Because it does happen. We've all been put in those situations where we've gone into a lot of drawdown, but you still like, man, I still think this thing's going to go up. I'm going to hold this. It goes up, but you broke that 30% rule. That's the only rule that I'm not a big fan of. I don't mind the trailing drawdown. I don't mind all the other rules that prop firms have. That's probably one of the rules that I'm not a fan of. So, yeah. All the other ones I can live with. Just that one I'm not a fan of. But it's not that often that people let their accounts. I'm not saying there's not, but because a lot of people just full port that shit and just hope for the best. You got the DGen traders out there just full porting. I think most of the people that usually do fairly good with making money doing this, that's what they're doing. They just play the percentage game. They're just they're just going long and going short. Have some expensive resets. I know there's people out there doing that. If you get two people together, I know there's people doing that with like Trade Day and Take Profit. Because Take Profit, Trade Day have the same type style payout method of where people can go long and short in two different ways and get to daily payouts. Because with them, you can reset your fundeds. It's expensive, but you can reset your fundeds with Take Profit Trader. Because it's like $400 or something to reset. Guys, we're just going to stay on here for a few more minutes. It doesn't look like we're going to get anything. You may get something later in the night, closer you get to London session, but I'm not going to sit here for hours and just watch this stuff grind sideways. So it's been a pretty crappy trading session. We've had a total of 40-something points of movement tonight. So I guess be careful if you're going to trade the rest of the night. Like I said, it wasn't really a good trading session for myself either. This was that one trade that we're looking for at 10 points. Unfortunately, we probably got up about 50 or 60 bucks, but I think I missed my target by like 3 points or so because I got short at 88 and it looks like we got down to about the 82 range, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we got to right here. So we got that pullback there. So we got down to 82. So we got up about 6 points. And so missed our profit by a little bit. I'm just not going to sit here and try to find entries and just mess up your accounts. So like I said, the time they added fees and I was at that break even, basically kind of puts us in the red, 20 bucks in the session, which is not too bad. Yesterday we had a really good session with these accounts yesterday. They were both well over $100. So we still need to make another $600 with these Perdeus accounts. And like I said, next time they have that special, I'll try to let everybody know. Cause like I said, I only paid $8 for these accounts. These are super cheap. I want to say the activation fee is like 88. And this was that account that we were kind of going back and forth for an hour. So we pretty much, you might just say break even trade on that tonight too. So like these accounts that I was trading tonight, I only paid $8 for them. They were super cheap accounts. But I was hoping they was going to run some around the Christmas time, but they did not. Yeah, Apex and Beulah Knox both are enter drawdown. Beulah Knox has both, but it's a little bit more expensive. It's usually option one. So option one's a little bit more expensive than option two. And that's because it's an end of day drawdown with Beulah Knox. Most of the time, they only give it to you for 45% off if you do the end of day drawdown. I just do the trailing drawdown. So I usually try to take profit where that interday drawdown can get you is you let your account go way into profit and not take profit, and it come back and it'll use that highest amount as your money potential made. So you gotta take your profit. That's why sometimes it's really hard to hold super long trades on those interday drawdowns. You got to take your profit. But we'll definitely be back for the New York session in the morning. And hopefully tomorrow's be like a nice trading session. I wouldn't mind us getting a nice like trending day where we just like either go straight up or straight down with like a lot of the chop. So like this morning, if you were trading the New York session, you could have easily got put in some choppy mess. I mean, look at it. Look at these candles with all these big wicks. This is usually very tough price action when it's wicking like that. Because a lot of times you're just trying to buy the breakouts. And these are the 5-minute candles. So I don't even know what it would look like on like the 15 minutes. It probably looks like one big old stick. Thank you for the follow, Anthony. Like I said, we'll be back for the New York session. I prefer the New York time, honestly. I like the faster movement. And we'll be pretty much strictly trading funded accounts pretty much moving forward because we don't have any evals left. I almost want to pick up one tomorrow, either from Apex or Beulah Knox. I think I'm going to do Apex because tomorrow is the last day of their 90%. So and just wait for setups. So a lot of times what we're looking for whenever we are trading the daytime is like we're always looking for full legs. Lately we've been just trying to stay away from the choppy stuff. So let's see. So this one wouldn't have been too bad. Let's see. Low, high. Let's see what kind of pullback. Because most all of our plays are going to be put on the fib. See, that would have been kind of iffy because it wasn't a very big pullback. So here's a setup. This is kind of what we like to see. So this would have been one of your opening days last week. So we would have been looking for this trade here. So So you got your low, you got your high, and then you're looking for your 80% tile pullback. So look, you got your 80% tile. Never did run these wicks. and then you look for the move back up to the highs. So this is kind of what we look for on our funded accounts when we're trading our fundeds. If we don't get this set up, we just don't take a funded account. So this is what we use to pull the fib whenever we're trading the New York session in the morning. We try to stay away from choppiness. So if we get, if we start the way where it looked like this morning, where it was just all chop and you don't get the nice clean legs, sometimes it's just better to stay out of it and just wait till you get the clean leg. Sometimes it comes later in the day, unfortunately. You don't always get this every morning. So that was a nice one. This one was one too, but look how massive it was. Like, I remember this one. You had to wait a long time. So this was a low. We took this trade too last week. So low, high, wait for the pullback into the 80 percentile. There's your 86. I have it marked out here for you. And this one did not break the low. So this is still a valid leg. And I would try to get long somewhere in here after them push down. I'll put a resting order or I'll wait for us to pull back into this area and look for anywhere between 20 and 40 points depending on the leg. Yeah. So that's what we look for on our funded accounts if you're trading with us in the morning. But like I said, with any strategy, you do not get it every day. Yeah, this was this morning's price action. So you can see there was no clean legs. So this way it also helps you stay out of chop too if you have a hard time maybe in chop. So if there's no leg, there's no reason to even take this stuff. So, or if you really want to hindsight it, I mean, I can almost find it every day where the fib will work on the opening session. It really depends on how much you want to sit through the garbage. So look, here's the low, here's the high, and where did we pull back to? 86% for us to move back up. It's just not clean. It's not that it's not there. It's just not clean. You just have to kind of like block out all the garbage. So you could almost pull the low and high almost every single morning. If you can kind of ignore all this garbage, you could probably get your 20 to 30 points that you're looking for. But look, there's your low. This is where we probably started out in the London session. Then we got up to the high as the market opened. Then we pull back 80% of this leg, and then you would look for a long back above the 70 percentile going back into premium. But you just got to kind of block out all this garbage price action. That's the hard part. It's not clean. And it makes it difficult, a little bit more difficult to see. I wasn't here this morning to trade that, so I have no idea if I would have saw that or not. And I didn't even really look for it until I was looking at it then. You can see it after you kind of mark it out. Another thing that kind of helps me block out mess is this one indicator that I use on TradingView. Let's see if I can find it. So what it does, it marks out the highs and lows. So it kind of makes it easier to block out. So this way you don't really look at all the candles. You just look at the lines and you just look at the higher lows and higher lows as they're marked out. So this was the New York session this morning. So see how much more easier it looks, kind of like not looking at the mess. So what you could have done is if you overlook all this messy stuff and just draw your fib on the TradingView chart. So here's your low. So don't even worry about what the candles are doing. Only thing you need to worry about is the high or the low and high, and wait for the 50% pullback. So low, high, pull fib, wait for 86% pullback. Here's your 86 per pullback, and then just kind of put your entry up in here somewhere and try to get you a 20 to 30 point move back up into like the premium session. But I wouldn't try to hold it all the way to the top unless you wanted to. I'm just looking for like 20 points, 30 points usually whenever I take my trades on the fundeds. So if you want to put an indicator that kind of helps you not look at the messiness and just look at the lows and highs. And all this indicator is called is basically higher, higher, lower, lower. That's all it's called. And it's just zigzags where it puts your lower highs, low highs, higher low. You know, you get the gist. And it kind of helps you overlook at all the trashy stuff that's in the market. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, we will be back for the New York session at 9:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock. The only reason I wasn't here this morning is I had to take my pet to the vet. So good luck the rest of the night if you plan on trading, because this market is garbage tonight, guys. It was pretty much a break even with a small red tonight. I think we were like $20 in the red on one account and like $6 or $7 in the green on one. So it was not a very good night as far as trading goes, but it wasn't a negative either. So we didn't get popped for like a negative account or anything. So that's the only plus. We will take our break even night and move on to tomorrow. Remember, there's not entries every night. We really didn't get the trade we wanted. We wanted us to lose the 48s this evening. If you could have lost the 48s, man, I feel like we could have got a really nice trade, nice sell-off. I still feel like the play is to the downside. If you pull fib on the if you pull the fib here on this whole low, I want to say right there, that's the low. So if you pull fib on this right here, we're still up in, well, we did pull back 50% of the leg for the move this evening. So a play that I've gone back and looked at marking out the previous days and lows, if you can break above this high of this previous day high, then sell back down in it, most of the time you will go straight back down. Just like this. Look at this move right here. This was the previous day. We broke above it, then you just go straight back down. I mean, it was pretty garbage here. I guess you would have to go back and look and see where our previous highs and lows. That is another indicator that I like to use too, that marks out the highs and lows from the previous day. Yeah. All right. Anywhere you see a red and green line is your previous day and low. So this would have been, I want to say you're trading the next following day off of that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, because look. So your trading day is always the previous high and low whenever you're trading off the previous low and high. Now you could get a nice long entry here if you can get above 26 here. If you can print above 626 and find support, you might be able to stay long and run it up to 672. So that's a possible. more than likely, this is probably going to be, I don't know, man, might be the target up here at the 7000s going into the London session. But that's only if you get out of that. All right, guys, I'm going to walk away before I stand on here and stare at charts for hours and hours. All right, thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the morning.